All right, let's see if this thing is up and running now. Herb. Get a link posted for you guys here, and we'll get started once we check some audio and things like that. Hey, what's going on today? So, looks like chat's working. How's my audio? Get started here in just a couple minutes. Do a few checks on audio, video, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you guys can hear me all right. See if this is working. Oh, might not be up. Let's see. Nope, it is. Okay. Streamlabs bot is working. Hey, Martin, what's going on? What are you guys doing on this fine Monday? Yeah, I was trying to see if my desktop audio was picking up on the mic or if I had to pull it in separate. Well, that did not end up in the center, did it? Yep. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. Yeah, I encourage you to read the book. If you join the beginner tournaments, you can win one of some of the lottery prizes. All right, so the purpose of the stream today is kind of multifold. I get really nervous playing, so I figured why not up the stakes and record myself while doing it. So I came up with a little checklist of some things that I want to go through on a stream or just as practice, and then kind of run through those, see how you guys like it, see if you can learn anything, if I can learn anything. Got my performance enhancing drug right here, my chamomile tea. So see if we can calm those nerves enough to stream a game or some puzzles, things like that. So got the little checklist here. Hopefully you guys can see that up on the screen. Got some 10U puzzles we'll do, some best move puzzles, and then I'll do a little warm up game. And then if one of you guys wants to play, we can play on stream. If not, I'll pick a bot, maybe Slate bot, something with a generous time control. Go through that, kind of go through my thoughts on what I'm doing here. All right, so let's hop over to Discord. And this is the Tac Talk Discord. You can get the link via one of the commands, or you guys are probably already members that are in the chat now, since that's where I posted that I'd be starting the stream. But if you scroll on down, you got a bunch of channels here, but you have Topaz puzzles, which we're gonna pull out a couple here. We'll start with an easy one just to make sure everything's working. So the command exclam puzzle easy, and Topaz will shoot you a link. Hop on over to PTN Ninja, and that is the wrong one. So let me change that real quick. All right, it just pulled up one of the test puzzles. Yep, using chamomile tea as a drug. Yep, it's a it's a good one. All right, so what do we have here? Our first 10U puzzle. This is easy, so let me turn on the highlighter if I can, and just see what our attack options would be. Would have the option of crushing that stone there, assuming that it's white's turn to go, which I believe it is based on this. We could place here for tack, place here for tack. No, we couldn't. That's wrong. Place here for tack. So out of those, which one gets us 10U? I believe it's going to be this one here. We're going to lock that wall in place by placing here, make a tack threat via this or via the crush. All right, so let's turn the highlighter off. And that would be A2. I'm going to have to plug that one back into Topaz, aren't I? All right, so if we go back over Discord, tell it A2, and exact response F1 over, which is a throwaway move. So then we would do A1 for the win. Let's see, you guys are asking if you can chip in. In what way do you mean chip in? You want to offer suggestions? Do you guys want to solve the puzzles? I mean, you kind of tell me what you want to do. We can be interactive, we can be spectators, whichever you guys prefer. How about I'll pull up the next puzzle, and then I know there is a bit of a delay for it, but we'll go medium this time. So exclamation puzzle medium, and that should have Topaz return us a medium puzzle. And let me get back to the right screen and we'll see what we got. All right, I'm not sure how much of a delay YouTube puts in this, so once you guys see that on the screen, let me know, and we'll go through some options here. And it might be helpful if I take this off of what I was using for my book and do things like need to add the play controls. I need to add the player bar back at the top, but I don't see that option here. I don't think it'll be I. All right, let's try some stuff. B? No? B. There we go. That should help us figure out whose turn it is. All right, so it's black to move. And we've got a medium puzzle first. Let's see, Martin Ernie on this medium puzzle that we're doing here. That capture on B2 first. Or is that from the first puzzle? So I can go ahead and go into the highlighter here. Okay, yeah, the medium here. All right, so we have this option. We can crush here. Other ways we can make tack come down with that. Or any other tack threats that we could make on the board. I mean, we could come over this direction with the capstone. Seems like that would just invite a flat placement there. All right, so chat, you guys are saying crush that wall. All right, wall is crushed. And now we have a tack thread here. Responses for that would be anything that covers up one of these, such as that, or that. So I'm not sure it matters which option white chooses there, because we have a win next turn. So let's see if Topaz agrees. Let me go back before we get too far into this one. All right, and what was that one? We had B1 plus. Exact response, Topaz responds with A2 plus. So Topaz wants to cover the anchor point there. And then what do you guys want to do? Now our options become some kind of placement here or here, or moving down this direction. I guess technically moving up to that direction would work as well. We have a vote for moving down. So whole stack down here, kind of got a steamroll tenue here. We got nothing that can stop us going that direction. None of these defenders can reach, so the best we can do is get down that far. That should be a win there. Let's double check. That was 4b2 minus. Valid response. So Topaz may have wanted to go upwards on that, but either way, that's a win for us. So that's Topaz's throwaway move, and then boom. You guys couldn't see that. Topaz's throwaway move was A1 plus, and then just offering the road there. Yeah, say in some other options, B2 plus 1 3. Which then I guess the block would be here. And then that would be tenue as well, coming up this direction or over this direction. Which I think either of those work. This just adds a turn, I think. All right, let's see what else she's got for us. So, hard one, maybe? X-Clan puzzle hard. Topaz gives us this. Okay, so now we're getting into it. Like going with the dual road on that one, the kind of bi-directional spread there. Let me know when you guys can see the hard one up here. I'll go ahead and get the highlighter out. See what kind of move options we have. We're on white to play. Yep, we're white on this one. So if it were black, it looks like tenue as well. So we can place here, D3, place at D1, or we can crush, looks like. All right, so you're saying D1 first. Take the highlighter off here. D1 first, and then maybe black does that. That one invites the capstone over. Yeah, the cap coming over might make it difficult to continue this line. Because they can get into shenanigans like that. Get the highlighter back out there. I just want to shout out to Greppler on this one. This highlighter was my request about a year ago, and he came through and try and implement it more. I've been using it some just for study, but I felt like it was going to be really valuable in streams, and so here we are, debuting it only a year or so later. All right, so you guys want to explore the D3 line? All right, so D3, I think this is now blocked because we have a road there. So that defense becomes invalid. Then we have a flat capture there. And the flat capture leads our only continuation kind of to be, figure this out, the crush, I think. So then if we crush, we're at this state. Black can do a flat or a wall there. If they do a wall, we have to crush it because we have to continue back. Then we have something like that. Continuation would be here. You have that. Continuation is here, and then I think we're kind of stumped after that one. Let's roll that back a little bit. Hey, Mayor, what's going on? Yeah, and going back to the highlighter. So we've got we tried D1, kind of the cap throw over, shuts that down pretty quickly. Tried D3, that ends up with some shenanigans later down the line with this inviting this flat over closer to our line. So yeah, I would say I would start with the crush here. Of course, I've done a lot of Topaz puzzles, and Topaz is a fan of the crush. So what if we do E3 minus? Then flat or wall, doesn't really matter which. Um, I feel like most people's response would be a wall here. And then now we've got this nice little delta deflection here. So we've got a delta here. This flat has to move somewhere, and it can't move over the capstone, so it's got to capture down onto E1. And now we're at this state. And then if we're here, then we've got pretty much these options as threats. We already halfway ruled out D1 just because of the reach of the cap there. We kind of ruled out D3 in earlier lines just because of that flat that can come over and delay us just enough for black to get something going on their turn. So I would say probably E2 is going to be our winner here. Because then you have a common-ish pattern. It's a hard pattern, but this is a Tenyu pattern right here. Let me see if you guys see the continuation from this one. It's got two main continuations. One with a wall or a flat here, and the other with a recapture. Whoop, broke it. Well, what did I do? All right, well, we got to start over again. So let me quickly run back through that. Okay, I think that's where we were. Yep, this is now locked in because of that. So yeah, our options are flatter wall on D1 or capture up. Let me know when you guys see it. Just to give you a hint, when you capture up, white just infills here, and we're back to where we were a couple turns ago. So it's a delaying move. It never gets them anywhere. However, Topaz might take that line because it does technically make a longer Tenyu. And Mayor's got the right idea. So a flat or even a wall here, and then F1. So now our only option, because this wall is kind of useless as far as getting over to where it needs to be, so we have to capture up, and then a recapture makes a ladder continue here. So we got our win right there. So yeah, this pattern is, well, I'm not going to say it's common, but it is a topaz pattern in my opinion, just because that's where I first came across it. But you've got this fork here at the end with one of the anchor squares occupied, and then no matter what you occupy the other one with, a ladder over here kind of makes short work of that. And I could put that through topaz, but I feel like we solved it there. I feel like there's not anything that can be done there. So it's a crush and a crush, a delta deflection, and then we set up the fork and then turn it into a ladder. If you do a lot of topaz puzzles, she likes crushes, and she likes these exchanges here, kind of on the edge of the board. All right, let's do something here. Did some 10U puzzles. We'll check that off. I got some best move puzzles. All right, these I don't know the best way to go about, so I'm just going to head over to Playtech History and we'll pick a random game. Let's search. We'll do some kind of 6x6 game. And we'll just pick the first one. We'll do 3 of these puzzles. So we'll do an opening, a mid game, and an end game. All right, so let's pull this one out here. 17 move game, so pretty short. Let's go random spot here. All right, so black to play, and white has taken center control. Black's a little bit scattered, and what we want to do with these kind of board states is want to look at what we think the evaluation is and what we want to do as whichever player we chose. So in this case, we're black, and then we'll check it. We'll just turn on the interactive analysis and we'll see what the filed Tiltaq is. All right, so what does white want besides to win? White is working on a kind of over the board or throughout the board bi-directional threat here. They're taking over the center. They've got connection opportunities for either direction up here. So as black, we need to be able to slow that down. Options for slowing it down would be a capstone on E3, because we really don't have a threat that we can build faster than white can build their threat. If we place on the edge here, then white's just going to place here, and then we haven't really gained much. We've made white commit a little more over there. I mean, I guess they don't have to commit to that. They can play the center game. They can extend, choose a direction. Offering a buffer stone here doesn't really help out, I don't feel. White can just kind of pivot to the vertical. And black, I don't think, has enough momentum to build this side into anything cohesive in time. Problem with the capstone over here is it's almost purely defensive. We can work on some edge connection kind of in the future. We are building somewhat bidirectionally, but white just has the opportunity to just strand us over here. Then we've got capstone opposition, and we're on the wrong side of where we want to be. All of our strength would be over in this area, and we're stuck playing defender over this way. I feel like trying to make our own threat down here is just kind of a hollow threat. White can build around. White can stick us to this one dimension here, this one direction, and then at any time at their leisure can step on over. And even if we block them off at this point, it's not as strong of a block as it needs to be. All right, so looks like chat's on this puzzle now, looking at CE3. So yeah, we had capstone option here, and then Mayor also said kind of a waiting move, maybe a build a little bit, see if white commits to one direction or another, and then make more of a defensive decision when dropping your only capstone. All right, I opened a poll. I just want to try it out, see if this works. I'm new to the streaming game, so we'll see. See if I can cobble together what other people have already built and make it applicable to TAC. Yeah, I mean, if you voted on white on pretty much any opening, it would it would be correct. I mean, unless it was just garbage, but yeah, at best you're getting out of the opening between fairly high rated players. You're getting out of the opening even as black. I had a thing that was supposed to show that. Do. Trying to figure out where my poll settings went. Oh well. Yeah, the poll favored white. I mean, we got one vote and it was white, so 100% white win right here. Um, I'll try and figure out why that didn't display on screen later. All right, let's turn these off. We got E3 or CE3 and C5. So let's see. Eval, I'm going to say Tiltec. This is Zero Komi game, looks like. I'm going to say that this is going to be 83% white favor. All right, looks like we were wrong on all accounts. So Tiltac wants to go with D2 here, building that vertical threat, and I guess also threatening maybe to pivot to the horizontal later. Possibly even just filling D2 as a steal from white so that white can't easily build that tack threat later. Let's see what the eval says if we place one of our moves. So let it think for a minute. Looks like white win rate went up maybe 3 to 5%. If we go there and if we go here, about the same. 2-3% going on there. All right, so I understand it. So you guys can understand it. Why does it want to go D2? So we're just going to follow these interactive suggestions up here. We'll see what Tiltac's idea is for black. Deciding between C2 and C5. Looks like we're landing on landing on CE3. So that move that we had, Tiltac thinks was a turn early. It wanted white to, I guess, commit to a direction first. So if white commits to this horizontal here, then our capstone here is better placed, potentially. And Tiltec has us building up this vertical threat here with, of course, the option of making that delta deflection like we saw in the last time. White can then cover up here, but then black can also cut in and threaten that. Click through a few more of these. All right, so here we see black making that threat. So white's forced to cut over. Black infill, and then we see a threat. Take, a retake, and then kind of back to status quo. And then bouncing here for a while. I'm not giving it very long to think here, so these are not going to be optimal moves, but I just want to see the direction this game is taking. All right. But if we go back to our start, we had guessed these two squares here, and Tiltak wants us to go with D2 and go for that vertical, even though it is destined to fail. I'm not sure that it ends up with a very good line here. Good for black is what I mean. Good for us as playing black. It's a good line for white. All right. You guys want to do another one? We'll do one more of these. All right, let's go back to game history. Do not an intuition bot. We'll do a plate bot. We'll add some Comey in here, and we'll go down to the mid game. Let's play as white this time. Oh, just a tip here. If you leave this tab open and the analysis running, it'll just keep going. So make sure you take that off, or else you'll get a notification on your browser that you're pulling a lot of data for a site. Or at least that's happened to me before. Okay, so here's our board state. We do have two Comey for black. Looks like we had maybe an adjacent corner opening here, and then kind of a center squabble. We can get up to the game to this point. So we're looking at move 17. So control back arrow, and we'll just kind of thumb through this, see how we got to this point. So we've got a black knight set up, a very odd black stone placement there. Black is continuing the knight opening on their side. Another odd surrounding stone, and white's kind of building for this. It's like mainly vertical with a little horizontal pivot option here. Black trying to reduce that to one direction. White is played by Slatebot here, so this is a random Slatebot move. This is not. Don't take this as any sort of canon here. Hey 412, what's going on? We're doing a little training here since I suck at TAC and everybody else does too. These bots kill us, so we're gonna try and throw off our robot overlords at some point. We can throw them off pretty easily if they make moves like this. This was a weird Slatebot move. Black fills in here. Black maybe should have gone more for the vertical. Filling in's never a, well, not never. Filling in's not usually a bad idea. White continuing their march. And then another Slatebot move. That in this space that could have been a wall. A hard stop here would have been I think pretty annoying for white to deal with. But they didn't do that. Building around, cutting, another bot move, this time maybe a little more sensical, because you are building the stronger vertical that black cap cannot throw over. A random slate bot move again. More building. This was a steal here by black. Just keeping that easy source of attack hidden. White makes attack threat anyway, using a different stone. And then that's where we are. So this was in response to attack threat. Black cuts over into the formation. And now we're deciding what we're going to do as white. Let me turn on the highlighter here. We'll clear that stuff out. And let's just look at our options. We'll go with green this time. I mean, we have lots of legal moves on here, but what makes the most sense? Black just cut over from here, so we have an infill option right here. We have the option to take that stack with the capstone. Black is not threatening anything yet. Something like this over here on B2 seems a little disconnected. Unless you were planning to move your capstone over into this kind of domain over there. Doesn't strike me as making a lot of sense. You can make more difficult terrain for black over in this area. Make more difficult terrain for them there. Do some kind of premature capture, which would be a bad idea. Let's highlight that one in red. I'm going to say that's a bad idea. Because you're not making the capture with tech. You're just making liability for no reason. There's not a Tenyu on the board that I see. And then you're just giving the opportunity for black to place a wall up here and grab that, or even a flat. So I'm going to take these off up here. That seems a little far out of the action for me. Advantages of capturing this D2 stack right away is you own that liability. You're not really worried about black making a road horizontally. It does give you a little more play with a future road down this direction. However, it's not placing a flat. I mean, you're already behind by 3 stones on flat placement, which is going to, when we do our eval, it's gonna throw that off there. I even think that that's maybe a little far off. So in my mind, I'm down to these 2 moves, and I'm going to favor the flat placement just on E2. You're blocking black from that direction. You have tempo, even if black decides to play here to kind of even the tempo out. And then with the intent, of course, of activating their vertical a little bit later, a couple turns from now, you then have your option of your capstone down, and now this comes with attack threat. It can be interrupted with that, but I mean, even then, you don't even have to be scared of this. This is not really a scary road potential there. You have the option of mean, you can then build down here on this. Simply place a flat next to it if you want, or build down this way. I would probably, I don't know if it's worth capturing this right now. I don't like it when when my giving my opponent easy access to a stack when I don't have attack threat to keep them from crushing that. So that just seems like that's inviting them over. Ever if you did something like this turn, and then let's say black threatened, then you have this option, and now that's no longer allowed. So I'm going to go with a placement here at E2. I think that's what I would do. Let's turn this on, let Tiltak cook for a minute. We'll see what we got here. Oh, I didn't make my prediction either. I think white's in pretty good shape here, but looks like Tiltak thoroughly disagrees with me on that, saying, I guess with the Comey, Tiltak takes into account reserves in a lot of its calculations. So the fact that white is behind 3 reserves here is really not a benefit in Tiltak's mind. Okay, we've given it, a little while to think, and yeah, E2 seems to be the winner, so got that one, and then we'll see kind of where the game goes from here. It may follow that line that I was kind of playing out there. Looks like it does, at least for another turn or so. Does place E1 to kind of continue that vertical and horizontal momentum there. But then we differ here, where I said that we could capture down. Looks like Tiltak says that's an inaccuracy. Wants F3 instead. Which, I mean, placing another flat, not a bad idea. And then black targets this instability here. Wants F4 over, and then that crush. Tiltak, perfectly fine giving away that stack. Doesn't have to worry about any kind of human feelings or anything there. Just let him have it. We'll make it up. And then just giving it right back to him. Hey, these bots are wacky. I would not get in a stack war like that for apparently no gain, but then again, the bots do beat me, so maybe I should. They also have the benefit of being able to calculate exactly what's going to happen with the stack wars, whereas we have to either use all of our time to do so or just guess at it. Have a nice little hunch. All right, so we got that one. That's good. See where we are in our little checklist there. We'll need to find an in-game puzzle. So we need to find a game that goes to the end. Let's just take a flat win on mirror search for this one. That way we get something that went to the end. All right, attacker is by flats. This was a 41 move game, so let's get down to where things get nitty gritty. And we're going to play as the underdog, so all right, so here we are as black. We are down in reserves. We are, or sorry, we're behind in reserves, as in we have more reserves. We have fewer flats. So, I mean, this is White's game to lose right here. I don't see an easy tenue on the board. I do see easy threats for White to make. Assets as black. We have one stack as assets. We have liabilities to target as far as F2. Minor liability here on E2. But we're not looking so hot. I may have chosen poorly on this one. All right, let's look and see if White has a tenue in the works. That's not tenue. Whoop. That's not tenue by White, but it is a threat that could be annoying. White has a threat here, a threat here. All right, so as black, whoop, that was what this person played, was SF3, which targeting that liability right there. Nice juicy stack. I don't see another easy way to target that stack. Flat here would target it as well. Of course, this, let me do a throwaway move. This stack move here is losing for black. Not losing game, but they lose control of that stack, forcing a wall here, and then probably forcing some sort of runaway. So a flat here is not going to win any FCD. The problem with a wall is that it might be a little slow. So if we use a wall to target this, I mean, one option, White just moves. Another option, White says, I don't care, take it. Now they have this. White can just kind of argue at this point, I don't need that flat count there. The most you can do is, you know, this is losing, just by the way, but because of this. But pretend that isn't losing. We can't even make up the differential here because we don't have Comey. So White can just argue that black winning that stack is not enough. White doesn't even have to do this threat here. White can say, well, now that you've blocked your own road, I'm going to make this annoying threat here and force you to displace some other sort of defense you had and, you know, get you in tenue right there. Or let's say you choose to capture up with this guy. Then we've got this sequence here where even if we block that, we have a hard time dealing with the aftermath of White gaining that stack. Because then they can just start trying to run out these reserves. As I mentioned earlier, we don't have enough time to make up the difference in that flat count. Yeah, Mayor's saying that we can disagree with the bots and be right, and that's true. I've been working on my the Hug opening book, which hopefully have out another month or so. I was working on that earlier today, and the I use Topaz for the Topaz and Willem for the evaluation, and there's a lot of stuff that I disagree with. So point that out that they're not uh, they're not the best yet. Okay, so where were we? We were back here on, yeah, we're on 34. So I feel like a wall is, it's a decent idea, but it's too slow. So what can you do as black, or can you do anything? Do you just do you just resign? Um, Black has odd option, not odd, but atypical options like a single flat capture here. That doesn't help this incoming threat, but it does allow the capstone out a little bit. Black has a flat option here. White can just build around, but it does it gives an option, a turn to do something, to place that flat. And then now if we start this bickering war here, then we lose because I missed a road up there. But so that that's Tenue right there for white. We can't let that happen. Is it Tenue? Not, it's close. We can just refill here. And then we're in some kind of loop. Hmm. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. Feeling this square just seems to invite, well, white can just ignore it, but it invites shenanigans like this. I feel like there's a Tenue here as well. Um, just with this bastion here makes it hard to defend against. I don't know where that Tenue is, but I feel like it's brewing, if not here already. You got really annoying sneaky threats like this going over that direction and coming here. So that is very annoying because your instinct would be to block something like that, and then you get hit with the left. I kind of like that move because then you're forced to retake, which white wins at this late in the game. Not very pleasant. Okay, so can't let we don't want to invite white down like that. Wall there seems a little slow to me. Flat, unfortunately, doesn't win that direction either. So we have nothing to build. Decided if we went down this line, we had to be careful because of Tenue there. So the player went with SF3. That doesn't gain us anything. SF3 might be the right call here, even though it is slow. Um, just to be contrary, I'm going to say D2, and then we'll turn on the eval. We'll see what's going on here. How you guys doing over there? That put you to sleep? End games are tough. They're not nearly as fun as some of the other stuff. I mean, they're fun in their own way. Don't get me wrong, but I guess fun is the wrong word. They're not exciting um, unless you're really deep into it. Okay. Tiltac has stopped really adding more depth on this one, so go ahead and turn it off. F3 is what it came down to, so not SF3, but just F3. D2 was an earlier option that I saw up here, and then as it thought more, shifted over. So if we do play D2, we're at 94% white win at F3. We're at 96. Because we're immediately having to use that D2 stone as defense. And then we get into a bunch of mess. We get into these kind of throws to stop that throw threat that was incoming. Um, and really our white win rate is just climbing up there. So I don't I don't know that any of the lines are good. I feel like D2 is maybe not just as good as F3. Let's walk down F3 just a little bit. Still have the same B1. And we still have to immediately defend against that dual road. So we've got this road here, but then also coming up this direction. So we got those two legs there. Got to defend them both. So now we're looking at that, and then it's just now we're back to the same line that we were, except this time it came with tack. Maybe it came with tack last, but easily and naturally defended. And then I feel like black is just about exhausted. There are options here. And it's just a matter of not losing to a simple road because you're too busy counting flats. All right, guys. I got a few more things on this list, but I don't know that I'm going to be streaming very much longer. Got to go pick the kids up here in a little bit. Took today off so I could do some crafting and decided I'd hop on a stream for a while. So, but yeah, if somebody wants to play a quick game, I can certainly do that, or I can throw one up here for um, throw a blitz game up here or something. Like we got some activity on Playtech. We got this might be one of the intermediate tournaments here. Well, let's just play a Crumbot game while we close this out. We'll see. If I get white, I'll play the knight opening. If I get black, I'll play the hug. See what we got here. I do get white. And Crumbot is a blitz bot, tends to play its capstone late. Blitz is not my forte, as anyone that has seen my games can attest to. But we're gonna play the traditional knight against it. Probably pretty high success rate against this bot with this. It's edge crawling directly into kind of a blockaded formation here. So, I mean, we can pivot, we can push up this direction. It shouldn't be able to break through. And it's just going to continue that. And we can watch our time tick down here, or we can do something, we can do something annoying like just play C1 and just have a way to cut that off. We can make a citadel over here just to help prevent shenanigans from happening, or we can push our threat. Let's build a citadel. This is a very slow approach. This is not this is not going to be ideal. But again, this is not an ideal opening pattern there either. We're just going to walk up this way, keep our sight lines open for vertical and horizontal. And black is going to kind of barricade us there. We can cut in, we can cut out towards the edge, or we can do kind of like a stair step across going both directions. Not going to say either one's right or wrong, especially against this spot. I think we can push for an early tenue if we go this direction, or we can play more of a longer game if we kind of jut out this way. Let's see if it'll walk into an early tenue. I'm expecting E4 here. Nope. Now we can push with the delta deflection here, or we can do a slow build. Let's go ahead and push. Expecting E6 down. So now we're going to just cut to the other side. Make that delta coming this direction, forcing either this or E1 over. If E1 over happens, I'm going to do a very dumb move, and I'm just going to plop my capstone right down there. Now, from what I'm seeing, black doesn't really have anything. So I'm just going to place up here. I'm disconnected with my roads here, but I don't think that's really going to be an issue. So now we push again. And we'll have to be careful if black ever gets anything over here that they don't get some kind of silly threat going down that direction. Tempted to play on the edge here just for shenanigans' sake, and then black's going to capture over and make that throw threat that I was just talking. So let's just build. Let's just see where this goes. Expecting there, and that happens. And now we're just going to start a fight. And like I said earlier, dumb move, but I'm going to pre-plan it and do it. And now we're just going to attempt a tenue. I don't have a ton of time to calculate anything here, so we can start a fight here again. Start a fight here. That seems good. I like fights. This is not a good fight. and expecting capstone. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So I have 4 usable stones here. And we missed our tenue. I pushed it too early, but we're fine. We're just gonna keep pushing along. I got my silly capstone down here for no reason. And we're just gonna keep building. That throw is gonna come here. Nope, out the other way. I'm down to 38 seconds. So this is good stuff right here, guys. I'm gonna walk into a menu of my own here. D2, no, up there. I'll take that. Oh, this is like a 3 Comey bot too, so this is going to be an interesting end to things. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 2, 4, 9. Yeah, so I've lost or on Comey here, so we'll see how this goes. $35 seconds. Bread has been made. Try a little drawbridge threat. I'm not counting stacks there, so could be wrong. Can I win here? I don't have time to calculate, so I guess it doesn't matter. That's annoying. Can't make it. This wins? No? Nah, it's close. I thought I had it 2 ways, but I guess not. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't think I have enough. Okay. I lost on Comey. That's a ridiculous stack. So, lesson of that game. Don't put your capstone on the edge and not do anything with it unless you have a sure tenue. All right, I'm going to call it for today. I want to thank you guys for hanging around and hope everybody has a good day. Thanks.